And so, Dzul Qarnayn is a traveler whose story impacts on two ages, two epochs, two generations, two people. Now then, we will have to devote attention to the second Qarn. But we can only do that after we've studied the first Qarn. And in the first Qarn, we are told, the first Qarn means the first age, the first time, we are told that Dzul Qarnayn is someone who's been endowed by Allah with power. But he also has faith in Allah. And so when power rests on the foundations of faith, how will power be used? The Quran proceeds to tell us about the first journey and then tells us about the second journey. The first journey ended where land finished and there's only water. So the second journey will have to finish where land finishes and there's only water. So between two bodies of water he travels. But the Quran did not stop there. Allah knew that the rabbis wanted to know whether Nabi Muhammad knew about the third journey. It was the third journey which led to Gog and Magog. And Gog and Magog is a subject only a prophet would know about. Our prophet said about Gog and Magog, when they are released, yes, he said the first of them will pass by the Sea of Galilee on their way to Jerusalem. And by the time the last of them pass by the Sea of Galilee on their way to Jerusalem, they say, there used to be water here. This very famous prophecy of Nabi Muhammad ﷺ. And so the Sea of Galilee has pivotal strategic importance in Akhir Zaman. The water can go up and go down, but we know that so long as there is water in the Sea of Galilee, Gog and Magog are still passing by. But this hadith gives us two things to hold on to. Number one, that because they have to pass by the Sea of Galilee on their way to Jerusalem, they're coming from the north. Did you hear that? The Sea of Galilee is located north of Jerusalem. So if you are passing by the Sea of Galilee to reach to Jerusalem, you're coming from the north of the Holy Land. So we have to look for two bodies of water located to the right and to the left, the east and the west, north of the Holy Land, to find the geography of Gog and Magog. Are you following me? Or do you go into school only in the holidays? The second thing that this hadith tells us of is that Gog and Magog have a link with a certain town or city. That town or that city is Jerusalem. The name of Gog and Magog is linked with a town or a city. And that town or that city is Jerusalem. These are the two main things that we get from this hadith. And the third one, of course, is that the water level in the Sea of Galilee will constantly decrease while Gog and Magog are passing by. Now then, so now, Dzul Qarnayn travels in the direction of the setting of the sun. And that is going westward, isn't it? And he comes to a body of water, can't go any further. And that body of water is Aynun Hamia, dark and murky. Well then, can we identify that body of water? For you and I, it's so simple. For Ibn Kathir, it was so simple. But for those who refuse to think or find it inconvenient to think, it's a different matter. Only one body of water north of the Holy Land. The Mediterranean Sea is not north of the Holy Land. The Mediterranean Sea is bordering the Holy Land. The water laps on the Holy Land. That's the Mediterranean Sea, so to the west of the Holy Land. So to the north of the Holy Land is only one body of water. It's called the Black Sea. And the reason why it is called the Black Sea is because there's so much algae, I don't know how you pronounce that word, in the water that visibility is very, very shallow. That's why it's said dark and murky. Aynun Hamia. And so it is very easy for us, not for them, for us. It is very easy for us to recognize the geography of what we're talking about. So Dzul Qarnayn has traveled in the direction of the Black Sea. And there, at the direction of the Black Sea, the story begins of Gog and Magog, of Dzul Qarnayn. It begins there, at the Black Sea. And there he comes across the people, and Allah asks him, did Allah speak to Alexander? Did Allah speak to Cyrus? Did Allah speak to Tom, Dick, and Harry? Allah spoke to him and asked him, how are you going to treat these people? Why don't you think before you rush to judgment that Dzul Qarnayn is Alexander, and Dzul Qarnayn is Cyrus, and Dzul Qarnayn is Suleiman, and this and that and the other? Why don't you think? Allah is speaking to him. And Allah asks him, how are you going to treat these people? His response was, those who are wicked, those who are oppressors, those who are unjust, those who commit acts of zulm, I will punish them. And when they return to you, you will punish them as well. But those who are people of faith and who are righteous in conduct, I will treat them nicely and I will reward them. This is his response. And so now, we know about the first Qarn. The first Qarn is that when power manifests itself on the foundations of faith, in the region of the Black Sea, power will be used to punish the oppressor, to punish those who are unjust, those who are wicked. And power will be used to reward those who have faith and who are righteous in conduct. Treat them nicely. This is the first Qarn, and this is the region of the Black Sea. And we know that Crimea commands the Black Sea. Whoever commands Crimea, controls Crimea, commands the Black Sea. And this is why for centuries, from the time of Genghis Khan, centuries there have been power rivalry for control of Crimea, the peninsula of Crimea. The last major war before the 2 world wars that was fought in the world was the Crimean War. I have about 3 books on the Crimean War in my library at home. Yeah. And I've read on the Crimean War. So Crimea has a strategic role to play in respect of the manifestation of power in the region of the Black Sea. So when the second of the 2 Qarns is to occur, what will the world see? Are you listening? When the second of the 2 Qarns is to occur, power will once again manifest itself in the region of the Black Sea, where Crimea commands the Black Sea. And that power will rest on the foundations of faith. And that power will be used to resist and to punish the oppressor. And power will be used to punish those who are unjust and wicked in their conduct. Power will be used to reward those who have faith and who are righteous in conduct. That is the second Qarn.